Good afternoon, students. Yesterday we have seen the structure of human respiratory system. Today we are going to see functions of human respiratory organs. Yesterday we have seen in the diagram there are different organs which are involved in human respiratory system. So one by one we are going to discuss about their functions. So first we will see nostrils. Nostrils are, as I have told you, are the small openings which are present at the front sides on the facial bone, and these nostrils are small openings which take in the oxygen and allow the carbon dioxide to go out. So it's a passage for taking in oxygen and giving out carbon dioxide. And these nostrils are supplied with the small hairs inside it which filter the air. It also has some amount of mucus into it, and this mucus also helps the air to filter. So that is the function of first organ, that is nothing but nostrils. Then second organ is pharynx, or which is also called as nasal passage. And this nasal passage condenses the air. The scattered air is condensed over there, is brought together so as to pass through a small trachea, small windpipe. So for that purpose the air condensation is taken place in the pharynx or in the nasal passage. Then from there it goes to the larynx, which is nothing but the sound box. If we want to produce some sound, this air is bombarded on the partition present over here, and then the sounds are actually released. So the third organ is nothing but larynx, which is nothing but the sound box in the throat. Then the fourth organ is nothing but trachea. Yesterday we have seen trachea is also called as windpipe. And this trachea is made up of cartilage actually, and has small ring-like structures, annular structures by which it is made up of. And with the help of its contraction and relaxation, a little contraction and relaxation, the wind moves down in the towards the lungs. So trachea actually passes the air into the lungs. Then further trachea divides into two branches, and that two branches are called as bronchi. Singular is bronchus. One is called as bronchus, and both of them are called as bronchi. And these bronchi actually takes the air towards both the lungs. Two lungs are there on the either side of the heart. One is present to the left of the heart and one is present to the right of the heart. So as to take the air towards both of them, the trachea is divided into two branches, and that branches are called as bronchi. Then bronchi further divide into very small tube-like structures when they enter in both the lungs. When bronchi enter in both the lungs, they divide into small tube-like structures, and that small tube-like structures are called as bronchioles. And these bronchioles actually takes the air or make the air thinner and thinner and divide it into equally into all the tubes. Then these tubes end into small sac-like structures, and that sac-like structures are called as alveoli, where actually the exchange of gases takes place. The given of oxygen to the blood and taking of carbon dioxide from the blood is done in small sac-like structures which are called as alveoli. As there are many, they are alveoli. One single is alveolus. So this alveoli is actually, if you cut it and if you stretch it and if you make its plane, it will stretch up to 85 centimeter cube. Such a big it is. But when it is condensed and when it is kept in the lungs in a very small manner, it is quite folded and kept in the lungs. Such many alveoli are present in each lung of the human beings. So this is how these alveoli increase the surface area for absorption of carbon dioxide and giving of the oxygen. So these alveoli play very important role in human respiratory system. So here actually, as these are made up of very thin walls and they are richly supplied with the blood vessels. Blood vessels, actually the blood has brought to the lungs with the help of an artery called as pulmonary artery, and this is the only artery in our body which carries deoxygenated blood. It takes the blood from the right ventricle towards the lungs, and then it divides into small branches and goes and get connected with each and every alveolus in the lungs, and where actually the exchange of gases takes place. So as the walls of alveoli are also very thin and the walls of blood capillaries are also very thin, the exchange takes place by the process of diffusion. As in the alveoli, the amount of oxygen is less, the amount of carbon dioxide is less, so carbon dioxide is given to the alveoli, and as in the blood the amount of oxygen is negligible, then it is absorbed in the blood by the respiratory pigment which is present in the blood, and this is how the exchange of gases takes place. So just now I have mentioned about respiratory pigment. This respiratory pigment is nothing but a small substance which is present in the blood. Yesterday I have talked about it, and that is called as hemoglobin. It's a kind of protein present in our blood in the RBCs, and this protein actually has a very high affinity towards oxygen. So once it comes in contact with oxygen, it readily absorbs the oxygen from the alveoli and the blood is circulated again towards the heart. So again, now this blood is purified blood, which is also called as oxygenated blood. When it gets mixed with the oxygen, it is said as oxygenated blood, and this oxygenated blood is again transferred to the heart by a vein called as pulmonary vein, and this is the only vein in our body which carries oxygenated blood towards the heart. So this is how actually the mechanism of the exchange of gases takes place, and these all organs play very important role in the process of respiration. Then one more organ, that is called as diaphragm. I have shown you yesterday, and this diaphragm is actually a partition or small septum. In Marathi we call it as padda, as I have said. So it is in between the thorax and the abdomen. It is present, a partition present, and this partition, when it expands, the air goes in the lungs, and when it relaxes, the air goes out of the lungs. So that is the main mechanism of diaphragm, that when it expands, the air comes inside, and when it relaxes, the air goes outside. With that, the ribs, chest ribs, are also very helpful in the process of respiration. They allow the contraction and relaxation of the lungs, and this is how actually the process of respiration, the process of breathing takes place in human body. And all these organs play very important role, and they play very important function for the process of respiration. Now after this we are going to discuss about the mechanism of breathing. What is the mechanism of breathing? Yesterday I have told you about this, that in the mechanism of breathing 3 steps involved. First step is inhalation. Second step is exchange of gases. And third step is exhalation. So in these 3 steps, in these 3 stages, total mechanism of breathing takes place. So first we will discuss about inhalation. When we breathe in the air, that time the air passes through the nostrils, through the pharynx through the trachea, through the bronchi, through the bronchioli in the lungs till the alveoli. And this process of taking in air is called as inspiration or also called as inhalation. Then second process is exchange of gases. As I have told you, alveoli are richly supplied with blood capillaries. The exchange of gases takes place. Carbon dioxide from blood is given to the alveoli and oxygen from the alveoli is given to the blood. So this exchange of gases takes place, and as blood has hemoglobin into it, which has the high affinity towards the oxygen, more and more amount of oxygen is absorbed in the blood and the amount of oxygen is given to the alveoli again. So this exchange takes place with the help of respiratory pigment called as hemoglobin, and the exchange of gases takes place in the lungs. And the third step is exhalation. That means when the air is given out, at that time what happened? The diaphragm relaxes. As the diaphragm relaxes, the ribs of the chest also relax, also come nearer to each other. As they come nearer to each other, there is a little pressure on the lungs which actually push the carbon dioxide outside the body through the nostrils, and this is how the exhalation process takes place. During the inhalation, the diaphragm expands, the air is sucked inside and then it goes to the alveoli, and during exhalation the diaphragm contracts, the ribs also contract, and then the carbon dioxide is pushed outside the body through the nostrils. So this is how the exhalation process is seen. So here we end with the second topic, that is nothing but respiration. In this chapter we have seen different points, like first we have seen the definition of respiration, then we have seen types of respiration, that are nothing but aerobic and anaerobic. We have seen the difference between aerobic and anaerobic respiration. We have seen the chemical equation for aerobic respiration. Then in the aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration, one process is common, that is nothing but glycolysis. And then aerobic respiration leads to complete oxidation of glucose, which releases 38 ATP molecules, whereas anaerobic respiration leads to incomplete oxidation of glucose, which leads to formation of only 2 ATP molecules. There are two different types of anaerobic respiration, and that are nothing but, yes, it is also called as fermentation, and that are nothing but, first is alcohol fermentation, where the end product is ethanol, which is nothing but ethyl alcohol plus carbon dioxide plus water. And second type is lactic acid fermentation, where the end product is lactic acid and 2 ATP molecules. So this is how anaerobic respiration takes place. Then we have seen respiration in plants, how plants respire through the stems, leaves and even through the roots, that we have seen. Then we have seen respiration in animals. We have seen different organs present in different animals. Then we have seen the respiration in aquatic organisms, respiration in terrestrial organisms. Then we have seen respiration in human beings. We have seen the diagram of human respiratory system, the functions of organs involved in human respiration, and then we have seen the mechanism of breathing. And this is how we have completed the full topic, that is nothing but the respiration. Our next topic will be transportation, which we are going to come with very soon. So I hope you understood whatever I have taught you till today. Thank you very much.